Hey everybody, long time no vlog. Actually, I've had several attempts at vlogging. I think 3 altogether, and each time I discovered that my audio and my video were not playing nicely together. So finally figured out all the bugs and worked it out. And then I had to have, the whole shower conspiring with the makeup, conspiring with the time alone, conspiring with the need to vlog, and here I am. So last Friday, a week ago, Robin and I did our much anticipated joint vlog post, and it went very well, despite some technological hiccups in the beginning. And we talked about how we were going to go the next day, last Saturday, to Dallas City Park here in Oregon, and to do our wedding ceremony in the same place where we got married 2 years ago. We got married, whole shebang, all the things, although it was a impromptu potluck kind of fun, scheduled at the last minute kind of meeting, because I insisted that we move and get married in the same week. And I don't care what your brain tells you. I don't care what your brain tells you. If it says, let's move and get married in the same week, it'll be fun, you shut that down. Don't listen to that, because well, my chiropractor had fun because I had to go see him 3 times that week. So there's that. Anyway, we were going to do that ceremony last Saturday in the middle of our conscious uncoupling process. It was a major milestone to remove our rings, cleanse them with earth, air, fire, water, release each other in all the different ways, and bless each other with a big, benevolent, beautiful breakup. That was the plan. Yep, that was the plan. And then it didn't go so well after that. The recording was fine, and I may actually edit out a few parts to shrink it down to size and share it, because there were some things worthwhile in there, and it was genuine in the moment. But we kind of hit some snafus later in the evening, and the next day was brutal. Significant, awful, painful, scary conflict. Yeah. It culminated with neither of us speaking to each other. So Robin's out in the guest house, I'm in the main house. That makes it sound like it's a palatial estate. It's not. It's a 1929 bungalow with 3 bedrooms and no dishwasher, and one bathroom in the house. And I was in the bedroom, the main bedroom, and Robin was in my former art shack, now converted into a tiny home. We didn't know why we were converting it, but now we know. So sharing bathroom space, kitchen space, but that's hard to do when you're not speaking to each other, and the only communication was with text and email. And it was awful, just really awful, because he and I came into this thing as friends, and we intend to exit as friends. And in the middle, we need to shed the romantic relationship that we tried god awful hard to make work. 6 years of trying hard to make it work, exhausting 4 different therapists and coaches in the name of making it work, and we couldn't make it work. I mean, we flunked the Gottman Institute workshop. They sent us home. Yeah. So, yeah, I flunked meditation and I flunked the Gottman workshop. These are things to put on my resume, except that I work for me, so no big deal. Anyway, we got through that with the help of a dear friend. Hello, Eileen. I may as well just say your name, may as well out you. Eileen worked with me first and then with Robin on facing some issues. So for me, she said, look, you haven't been able to understand this man for 6.5 years. You've tried. What makes you think you can do it now while you're in the breakup? And she said to him a day later, both of us Unbeknownst to each of us, we didn't know that we each spoke to her. She was our go-to. What she said to Robin was, look, y'all weren't on the same page in your relationship. What makes you think you're going to be on the same page in the middle of your breakup? And it was kind of like, when you get a dose of hard reality, all the stuff just kind of crumbles down and falls by the wayside, and you get those aha clarity moments of, oh, right. Yeah. So we were able to meet on that point that we could be on the same page, that we're not on the same page. And that has to be okay. It does. It just does. So we started thinking about, all right, do we do this unwedding ceremony in lieu of a divorce, since we're not legally married? Do we do this together or separate? And we both came to the same conclusion that we'd like to do this at the same time in the park. And then it became when to do this. And due to schedules and all kinds of issues, it looked like the possibility of Saturday the 20th, which is tomorrow, which happens to be summer solstice this year. And we got married on summer solstice 2 years ago, only it was the 21st that year because, calendars and planets and cosmic stuff, oh my. So anyway, yeah, it just felt right. And then I realized that Mercury retrograde was hitting on the cusp of the 17th and 18th, which was what, night before last, whatever it was. And the question became, should we not do this? Because when you make hard decisions during Mercury retrograde, sometimes they don't keep, and we do not need to go through this again. We keep cycling through our history, and it is over, but it needs to be like cemented into over so we can release each other and go on with our lives. So I looked up a few things and I realized, oh my goodness, there are five planets in retrograde. So Mercury is joining Venus, the planet of love, Mars, the planet of war and sex. Why do war and sex have to be the same? I don't know. Anyway, passion, we'll call it passion, the planet of passion. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and Saturn, the sort of taskmaster planet. So all five of these planets are in retrograde. And what that means for those of you who may not know is that when the planets circle around the sun in their own unique orbits, each one taking whatever, ours takes 365 days, when the Earth is stationed at such a point that it looks like a planet's going backwards because of how the Earth and that planet are interacting, it looks like it's going backwards, which is called retrograde. So there's a period of 5 days here where all 5 significant planets are in retrograde. And right in the middle of that, right in the middle of that, I don't do this often, I don't even know how. Right in the middle of that is the summer solstice. And then there's an eclipse, a full eclipse the next day. So planetarily, cosmically, astrologically speaking, this is all rather fortuitous for such a thing as a breakup, an unwedding ceremony. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to remove our rings and smoosh them in the earth. Well, first we'll open sacred space, which is not to freak out the good citizens of Dallas, Oregon, but when we did this during our wedding 2 years ago, the rumor was there was some sort of satanic ceremony going on in Dallas City Park. So it's been a while since we disturbed the town. So I'm thinking it's time. So we're going to open with sacred space. We're going to do the removal of the rings. And I've not taken off the wedding bands in 2 years. I mean, I'm kind of sentimental, kind of traditional, kind of monogamous, all the things. So yeah, going to remove all of the rings, put them, smoosh them in the dirt, and then hold them up to the air and smudge them. And then we'll put them into the fire, and then we'll run them through the waters of the Rickreall Creek. And there's a bridge there. We might do some sort of something on like being in the middle of the bridge and going our separate ways. Ceremonious, ritualistic, symbolic ways of making this real on all the levels: literal, symbolic, mythic, and etheric or spiritual. And then we'll also do some releasing using the chakras, breaking any kind of soul tie connections so that we can be completely free to reclaim our autonomous selves and be who we each really are. And our shamanic director, Larry, everyone needs a shaman named Larry. And you can have a shaman named Larry too. He's available. Anyway, Larry gave me some advice this afternoon. Larry was one of our officiants during our wedding ceremony 2 years ago. Larry suggested that, shamanically speaking, nothing is ever totally released in the sense of things being totally severed, because life is it's a cycle. So as shamans, we shape shift. So the relationship needs to change. It needs to go from being a couple to being not a couple. And this will be the symbolic ceremony of what already happened on June 1st, when we both realized and got our clarity during our therapy session that this relationship needed to end for the sake of each of us. It was the most loving, most kind, most benevolent thing to do. Relief and grief, both. Yeah. So we're going to do all that. And when we leave there, we will get on our separate cars and drive away. And though we will be sharing a space, it will be what it has been, only declaratively so, as roommates, as platonic roommates. What a journey we've had, full circle, from friends back to friends, with a whole lot of growth and learning, a whole lot of transformation in the middle. There's nothing to regret. There's no remorse. There was a lot of pain for both of us. The ending for me has been a culmination of about 18 months of an unraveling of a relationship that I thought would last. I believed it would last. I commit deeply. I go all in, and I don't exit lightly. I give it my all. My first marriage was for 25 years, and we shared the 8 children that I birthed, that he fathered. And in this relationship, we didn't have any children, but we birthed a lot of blessings. And we want to release each other with more blessings. So yeah, it is, after all, going to be a beautiful, benevolent breakup. It feels right. It feels timely. And it feels serendipitous. All the things. I continue to surrender to this and to whatever life has for me next. Thanks for tuning in and sharing this chapter of my life here. I appreciate each and every one of you who are taking a little bit of time out to witness one woman's meandering musings about life. Thank you.